what's up guys? It's Percy once again for another amazing and stupendous and awe-inspiring Percy's Fast Food Toy Story. And today's Fast Food Toy Story will magically appear in the palm of my hand. Ta-da! Okay, is that great? Oh my goodness. I think I'll have another career as a magician. I'll try to rethink my career path. Anyway, so this is good old Charlie Brown, one of the greatest creation of my idol, the greatest comic artist, one of the greatest comic artists, Charles Schulz. So I thought Charlie Brown was his namesake, but then in one of his interview, I realized that it wasn't actually referring to himself as an eponymous, okay, as being the basis for the character Charlie Brown, but instead he kind of based the name Charlie Brown from an actual Charlie Brown which he met during his military stint, if I remember correctly. Well, anyway, Charlie Brown became one of his primary protagonists in this enormous comic strip that he has created. The comic strip of Charlie Brown, otherwise known as the Peanuts comic strip, has been world renowned for several years, even now that Charles Schulz has long passed. Still, his creation, his comic artistic creation, has endured the test of time. And I'm glad that we get to see a lot of Charlie Brown's comic strips and his characters, not only in newspaper but also in the internet. It's something that will always put me in a nostalgic mood every time I get to visit some of his comic strips. Now, Charlie Brown, like I said, is one of the primary character of Charles Schulz because of his, idiosyncrasies, his own uniqueness. Now, Charlie Brown has been known to have fallen in love with his secret crush, that little brown-haired girl in the classroom. But for some unknown reason, there is a reason actually. Being very shy, Charlie Brown never had the guts to actually muster the courage to confront the girl and tell her how he feels about her. But then, I have this epiphany because every time Charlie Brown is confronted with another character, because the blonde girl crush is quite an anonymous character. She wasn't actually named in the comic strip, but as she's always been referred to as the crush of Charlie Brown. Now there is another girl character in the person of Lucy Van Pelt. Well, Lucy Van Pelt have this amazing chemistry with Charlie Brown, but with the psychiatric booth and some other scenarios in the comic strips that made the two couple really very appealing to me. Now, in my analysis, I think eventually Charlie Brown would fall in love with Lucy, and Lucy falling in love with him, vice versa. Okay, it may appear that they have this, cat fight, cat and dog kind of relationship, but then underlying this really childlike bantering, exchanges of different ideas. There's a love that is very evident between the relationship of Charlie Brown and Lucy Van Pelt. And so I think he kind of gets into an argument with Lucy Van Pelt just as a defense mechanism, because in his mind, Charlie Brown is actually should be faithful to his crush, the brown-haired girl. So every time she's confronted with Lucy Van Pelt, who I think is also a love interest of Charlie Brown, kind of wanted to make him go away so that he won't fall in love with her, because falling in love with Lucy Van Pelt is tantamount to actually being unfaithful to this brown-haired girl who is also the love of his life. So that's it. Now, as a tribute to this particular toy from McDonald's, which came out in 2015, December 2015, what a way to celebrate Christmas than to have the whole gang of Charlie Brown and friends, the Peanuts characters. I think this was simultaneously released. These toys were simultaneously released upon the release of the Peanuts movie, that fateful December of 2015. Now, here's my song as a tribute to this wonderful character and wonderful toy, Charlie Brown, in his effort to actually shoo away Lucy Van lest he falls in love with this another wonderful character. So here's Charlie Brown. Ta-da!
I know that your lips are sweet, but our lips must never be. From dating somebody else, I must be true. The waiting girl, the waiting girl, it's hurting me more each minute that we delay. When you're near me like this, you're much too hard to resist. So go away, little girl, before I beg you stay.
You've got a friend in me.
Let's go up in space or in the deep blue sea. Play with